What's going on, guys? It's Orangey. Season of the Deep finally dropped, so I'm gonna go over everything new that you need to know for this season, including all the new perks, the new mods, the new exotics, and all the craftable weapons, and what all the new weapons can roll with. So if you like the video, consider liking and subscribing. It really does help me out a lot. So let's get into the video. Let's start with all the new perks added in Season of the Deep. First up, we have Discord. Final blows with another weapon grant this weapon increased speed aiming down sights, accuracy, and airborne effectiveness for a longer duration. When Discord is active, final blows refund ammo, and this perk can roll on Old Sterling, Pressurized Precision, Something New, Chattering Bone, The Messenger, Glissando 47, Randy's Throwing Knife, Transfiguration, A Distant Pull, Supremacy, Age-Old Bond, Nation of the Beast, Last Man Standing, Last Foray, and Mercurial Overreach. Next is Bipod. Increases rocket launcher ammo and reserves, but reduces damage, blast radius, and reload speed. I've seen some people talk about it and test this perk, and they're really not feeling it. The damage it loses hurts it really bad. And this perk can only roll on 2 guns, Apex Predator and Braytech Osprey. Next up, we have Eddy Current. Temporarily increases reload speed after sprinting. This effect is improved if you're amplified. And trust me, this season, you're going to want to be amplified all the time. Collective Action. Collecting elemental pickups or throwing a strand tangle grants a stacking period of increased damage. Elemental pickups include Fire Sprites, Void Breaches, Stasis Shards, Ionic Traces, and Strand Tangles. I don't think I've had anything drop with this perk, so I really don't have an opinion on it yet, but hey, it could be busted. And this perk can roll on a lot of guns. Different times until its return, A Distant Pull, Age-Old Bond, Tyranny of Heaven, Techian Force, Nation of the Beasts, Targeted Redaction, Bug Out Bag, Apex Predator, Just in Case, and Thin Principle. Whew, that was a lot of guns. Man, if anything, this perk was made specifically for me. Invisible Hand. Rapidly missing targets increases this weapon's stability for a short time. This buff lasts for a short duration after hitting the target. And these are the guns that the perk can roll with. Different times, Rapacious Appetite, Positive Outlook, Targeted Redaction, and Laser Painter. And the last perk that we have is called Controlled Burst. Landing every shot in a burst grants this weapon increased damage and reduced charge time for a short duration. And this rolls on Loaded Question and Techian Force. So those are all the new perks in this season, Season of the Deep. So let's get into the new 2 mods that we have this season, which they already should be unlocked on your account. First, we have Powerful Attraction. Automatically collects nearby orbs of power when you activate your class ability. So this mod costs 2 energy, and it can stack up to 3 times. So I did try to do a little testing, don't take my word for it, but I think it can work up to 25 meters, maybe 25 to 30. If I'm wrong, don't quote me. If I'm right, I knew all along. Oh, and I forgot to mention, this is a class item mod. The second mod that we have is called Elemental Charge, and it's for the legs. Collecting a Fire Sprite, Ionic Trace, Stasis Shard, or Void Breach, or destroying a Strand Tangle has an escalating chance to give you an armor charge. These mods do stack. Now, I myself haven't tested out this mod yet, but it seems pretty broken, especially on Stasis and Strand when you're going to be collecting shards and destroying tangles all the time. Next, let's get into the exotic armor and what it does. First, we have the Titan exotic chestplate Arbor Warden, and the exotic perk Berry Nade. Using your class ability channels defensive light inward, providing a grenade that creates barricade on impact. This was the only new exotic I was able to get, and it literally just turns your barricade into a grenade that's portable. So if you need to throw your barricade to your teammates across the map, you can do that. And your effects work with this barricade. So if you had Strand, it will suspend people. And then if you're running Void, it gives you overshield. People are most definitely going to use this in some crazy ways. Next, we have the exotic Gauntlets for Hunter, Triton Vice, and its exotic perk Halberdier's Reach. Increases glaive reload speed and melee damage when surrounded. Glaive melee final blows overflow a round to the magazine. Glaive projectile final blows detonate if the damage matches your subclass. Now, I'm like one of the 3 people in the world of Destiny that loves glaives, and this sounds pretty good. I mean, we have to see what the glaive projectile detonations look like, and how far can we overflow the magazine by getting melee kills? Like, can we overflow it to the max and have like 20 to 25 rounds inside the glaive ready to go? And what does the reload speed and damage look like when surrounded? Again, I don't have any other exotics, and I wish I did because they look so good, especially this next one. Okay, this helmet definitely doesn't have the looks, but trust me, it's good. Cenotaph Mask. If I'm pronouncing that wrong, I'm sorry. And its exotic perk, High Priority. Steadily reloads a portion of your equipped trace rifle's magazine from your reserves. Damaging a boss with a trace rifle matching your subclass marks it as a priority target. If an ally delivers the final blow to the priority target, heavy ammo spawns for them, and it grants you special ammo. Once I get these 3 exotics, I'm gonna make a video going in depth in each and every one of them, because all 3 of them look very good. The only one that doesn't look that great is the glaive one, because not a lot of people use glaives. So now, let's look at all the craftable weapons this season. Different times, a Strand rapid fire pulse rifle, and these are the perks that roll with it. So if you're running it in PvE, maybe Outlaw Hatchling or Subsistence Hatchling. And if you're using this in PvP, definitely Moving Target Headseeker. But definitely don't take my advice because I'm not a PvP expert. I hit my shots like 25% of the time. Next, we have the Rapid Fire Strand Shotgun until its return. And these are the perks that the gun can roll with. So for PvE, the ones that stand out is definitely Autoloading Holster, Threat Detector, and Overflow. For PvP, I think your only option is Threat Detector and Trench Barrel, or Vorpal. And next, we have the Rapid Fire Stasis Sniper, a distant pull. And here's what it can roll with. You know, I rarely use snipers, so I'm not even going to give my opinion on this thing because I don't want to be wrong. So, sniper enthusiasts, have at it. I really like how this gun looks. The Aggressive Stasis Submachine Gun, Rapacious Appetite. And these are the perks that this rolls with. I really don't want to say anything for this one either. It's a 750 and it has target lock. So I'm going to let your imagination run wild with that one. But this does look like a very good SMG. Next is the Aggressive Frame Void Hand Cannon, Targeted Redaction. And here's what it rolls with. I personally suck with hand cannons, in PvP of course, but I heard this thing can like 2-tap with the right setup, and it's not even that hard to set up. And just by looking at it, its perk pool looks pretty stacked. And finally is the Vortex Frame Strand Sword Thin Principle. And this is the first ever strand sword we have, and this is what it rolls with. And it rolls with Hatchling, which is very, very interesting. I need to see how this plays. And that's it for the seasonal weapons. Now let's get into the newly craftable raid weapons from Last Wish. Alright, first up we have Chattering Bone Pulse Rifle, and these are its all new set of perks. First off, you see Rapid Hit and Kinetic Tremors. I think that's the go-to for this gun. And then, Headseeker, PvP, we eatin'. And then of course Rangefinder, I didn't even see that one. Next up we have the Transfiguration Scout Rifle. This has always been one of my favorite scout rifles, so I'm super glad this is coming back. But look at the perk pool, it's coming out swinging. We have Rewind Rounds, Rapid Hit, Demo, Adrenaline Junkie, Explosive Payload, Kinetic Tremors. This thing came stacked. Next up, we have the OG Sniper Rifle Supremacy. It has Snapshot Sight's opening shot. That's my extent of sniper knowledge because I'm slow. I mean, no one's using this in PvE, right? That 10% damage bonus didn't do anything. And here's the Void Auto Rifle Age-Old Bond. And here's your new and improved perk pool, which this came stacked too. Repulsor Brace, Destabilizing Rounds, Target Lock, Dragonfly. I mean, you can't go wrong with this. Next up is the Solar Bow Tyranny of Heaven, which, if I remember correctly, this got a pure stat buff this update. And here's its new perk pool. With the stat buff it got this update, this could be the best solar bow. I feel like bows desperately need like a new perk to stand out. Oh, I pray for the moment they give Volt Shot to a bow. Man, once they do, it's a wrap. Next we have the Arc Fusion Rifle Techian Force. Honestly, this thing came stacked in its perk pool as well. And it has the new best perk for fusion rifles, Controlled Burst. Yeah, this thing's gonna be pretty good. So we're finally down to our last two. This is the Arc Hand Cannon Nation of Beasts. I'm really eyeing that Volt Shot and Keep Away, or that Dragonfly and Explosive Payload. Most of these reprised weapons from Last Wish aren't bad, they actually all look pretty good. And finally, everyone's saying this is the new DPS king, the Solar Rocket Launcher Apex Predator. With this one, you don't even have to think, it's definitely Reconstruction Explosive Light, or Reconstruction Frenzy. I wonder, when people start to craft this gun, I wonder what damage numbers this thing can actually put up. And that's it, that's all the exotic armor, that's all the craftable weapons, that's all the mods, and new perks. The only weapons and exotics that I haven't said are the ones that are restricted, and those are coming out Friday for the dungeon, and that's going to be its own separate video. But yeah, if you made it to the end of the video and if you found any of this informational, or if you didn't know anything beforehand, leave a like, comment, subscribe, it really does help out a lot, and see you guys in the next one.